Welcome to our presentation, Leaping Forward with Enthusiasm. This is an abbreviated version of a presentation three of us made at the Quality Matters Conference in October of 2013. In this presentation, we're going to take turns describing our adventures as we participated in a faculty development program to help us move our face-to-face courses to an online environment. We'll review the existing literature about programs that have been designed to help higher education faculty move their courses online. Then we'll identify the benefits and challenges of working collaboratively to develop the 5 courses. Finally, we'll examine what we've learned about the different approaches to curriculum when comparing teaching face-to-face versus in an online environment. First, I'll provide you with the context of our group's work. To guide us in converting our classes to online courses, we participated in FAU's e-learning designer facilitator course. This is a course that was reviewed and successfully met the Quality Matters standards. When we did this was we started in January 2013. The course began and it ran through April 2013. It was about 12 weeks long, and the commitment for our time was approximately 12 hours a week for a total of 128 hours over the course. Who participated in the program? The faculty development program is available to any faculty at Florida Atlantic University. And in our particular group, there were people that were from all the different colleges. We had criminal justice, we had biology, we had Spanish teachers. But within that, there were the 5 of us that were all from the same department of in the College of Education in curriculum and instruction. And our goal was to not just move our courses online, but to create a cohesive group of courses that had some consistency that students would see as they moved from one course to the next. What we'll look at next are the various faculty programs that have been described in the literature to help faculty move their courses online. And we'll look at the different facets of the delivery mode, the duration of the courses, the audience, the content and focus, and incentives. The delivery modes vary. Most often you'll see face-to-face workshops or series of workshops, and that's how faculty learn how to move their courses online. There are other models out there which are exclusively online, and the reasons for that is to give faculty the experience of being an online student, and also so that the course is available anywhere, anytime. And then the course that we were in is a combination of face-to-face and online. Most of our course was online, but there were 3 days that we were there for face-to-face workshop time. All of the programs in the literature typically had some sort of instructional design consultation available where faculty could work with an instructional designer in one-on-one fashion. There's also a model out there of a self-study where faculty are given the Quality Matters rubric and support material that goes with it, and then they work on moving their course online to follow the rubric. There's also a model with working with faculty mentors, experienced faculty members, and then the faculty person sitting in and observing an online course. And also, when you read through the literature, everywhere it talks about the informal collaboration that happens between faculty members. Ours was particularly pronounced because the 5 of us went in there with the intent of working on our series of courses. And it took a lot of different forms when we were meeting face-to-face. It was before, after the session, during lunch. But in the time frames when we were just working online, there were many emails, there were text messages, there were phone calls, there were Skype sessions as well, and then we all developed a Dropbox, a shared Dropbox, where we were putting in images and things that were going to be the same throughout the course. The durations of the courses vary as well. You have 3-hour workshops or 6-hour workshops. There's also a model of an 8-week online program, and then there's also a 3 full-day program for a faculty boot camp where they can work together to get their courses online. And then our model was a 12-week program. The audience for the faculty professional programs varied. There are those that are for inexperienced online instructors, people who have never taught online, and then there are others that are targeted just for experienced online instructors who have taught some online and they'd like to move up their online experience as well as their course. Some of the courses are available for full-time faculty and others are just exclusively for adjunct faculty. The program that we were in was available to both full-time and adjunct faculty. The content and the focus of the courses also varies. So some of the professional development programs The focus was on course design, taking a course and turning it into an online course. Others were for just teaching online. So they were just teaching courses that had already been developed, and they just needed to know how to improve their pedagogy to teach online. Also, a common thread that goes through the literature about programs is the emphasis on technology. Many of them had the technology of helping the faculty learn how to use the learning management system. In our program, it was assumed that you had a very proficient level of use with Blackboard, and then we learned about other technologies that we could pull in, like online polling or screencasting. The incentives also vary. Some offer stipends, certificates, and equipment. Our program offered a stipend. Some programs offer stipends just for developing a course. The one that we were in, there was a stipend for participating in the course, and then there was an additional stipend once you taught the course, and then one more stipend once your course goes through the Quality Matters process. We also had certificates at the end we were given, and there are other models where faculty are given equipment so that it would be more useful for them as they move their courses online.
Hi, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the social interactions we faced as a cohort of 5 in this experience of transitioning our courses from face-to-face to online. As we proceeded through this program that we thought would be a piece of cake, we have all the content knowledge, we have the face-to-face skills that make us excellent teachers, we thought transitioning to an online learning would be a breeze. We quickly learned that was not the case. We found ourselves in 3 different distinct groups. I've labeled them as procrastinators, hitchhikers, and overachievers. The procrastinators in the group were those that would find themselves constantly putting off assignments like discussion boards or responding to written tasks that we had to do within our course building. Then there were the hitchhikers in the group, those people that originally started off as procrastinators but then found themselves in a tizzy to try and catch up with work that they've done. And what we would have to do, as all of us were in that at some point, look at other people's work and see what they have produced and then try and mirror our own work after that of our peers. And of course, within our cohort, there were the overachievers. Those are the people that would finish the work super early and say, "Oh, I've had that done for weeks. Let me show you what I did with my work." Within these categories, we had a job to do, and we had 5 courses that we were trying to align vertically with some commonalities between the courses. We thought taking this course that was offered by our university would make a seamless transition where all of the pieces would magically fall together and we'd have a very detailed, in-depth sequence of courses that students could easily follow from one to the next. And we learned how to simplify it a bit more. So what we did is we came up with some course commonalities that would be present in all 5 of our courses. The idea is, as students progress through our courses, they would be able to see these common areas that you're looking at, and that would take away some of the unease or nervousness with trying to find, where do I turn in the work, or how do I access this particular tool? Some of the great things about working with a cohort of colleagues was you had a built-in sounding board, and we were able to share ideas and worries and concerns. We were able to ask for help, and we had people that we trusted implicitly, and it took away some of the fear that we would feel if we were doing this alone. That built-in support was a great tool to help us proceed in transitioning our courses from face-to-face to online. But there were challenges. We did have some insecurities that we had to deal with, and some of that came from our placement within the cohort, and depending on what we were producing and the quality of work that we felt we were producing, where there was always a bar that was sometimes, I felt, set very high by the colleagues, and I was always a bit insecure with my work to make sure that I was producing work that met my colleagues' expectations. And thankfully, we had established the trust within the cohort that I felt okay to ask for help or to ask for feedback from our colleagues, and that really strengthened us as a cohort. As I look back on the experience, if you are just starting this, I would say as you build your cohort and you find someone that you can trust, to really take advantage of your time. We know time management is an issue for everyone. And if you are together and you can focus on the content of the course and making all of the learning expressly applicable to what you are doing within your course, that would probably be the best use of your time within the cohort. Our overall takeaway through the ups and the downs and the goods and the bads The cohort was a great experience that helped us produce rigorous, thought-provoking, well-developed courses, and it also gave us the confidence to continue to explore our e-learning experiences.
So we wanted to think about the pedagogical shift in moving ourselves from face-to-face to online. Now we all know that the general perception of most faculty is, hey, what's the big deal? All I have to do is add my PowerPoints, put some web links in there, have a discussion board, put a few online quizzes, and there we go, an online course ready to go. Well, it's not quite that easy. There had to be some conscious decision making in the process. We all know what effective teaching practices look like in face-to-face. How do we convert that into an online effective teaching practices? And what about those great interactive discussions, particularly in graduate courses, where they like to have the conversations back and forth that they don't get anyplace else? So how do we make sure that that happens in an online course as well? There's also the question about who's behind that computer screen. How do I know who's there? And how do I make those connections with them? We also have to think about what things are important. What are the important things to really incorporate? Because there are some differences. For a number of years, we've had the learning management systems in place, and they provide us a very effective tool as a repository for documents for the course, ways to engage and interact online and face-to-face. Most of us use it with face-to-face courses as well, and make those links between the students and the instructor. Online excellence, the factors that are involved in effective teaching, sound pedagogy in an online environment. We need to make sure that it's both effective and engaging in the online learning environment. We need to make sure that they're provided with meaningful learning experiences and there's high student satisfaction. It needs to be done in such a way that the medium itself becomes transparent, that they're interacting with the content, not with the technology. And it's often the case in an online environment that they become more involved in the content when they're doing online learning, and it's a constructivist situation where they make their own understanding. The online environment provides unique capabilities, and it's important to focus on what those unique pieces are in order to use them to the best of their capabilities. It's important to know that you have to redesign your course materials to make them compatible, make them work in an online environment. It's also key to remember that there's a great deal of prep time involved in preparing an online course, even if you've presented the course face-to-face several times. The transition there's a lot more involved with it. And again, the student involvement with the content is an important piece, and generally they are quite involved in the content in an online course. But you also need to make sure that you include interaction, dialogue, and coaching. In our case, we used a sandbox, a makeshift course setup that wasn't really open and available in order to go in and develop some of the things we wanted to do. So, and this is from an article by Henry from 2008, that great online courses are defined by teaching, just as any great course is defined by the teaching. As we know, all aspects of the course need to align with the objectives, and it's really important to develop that sense of community and collaboration within the online course. This isn't going to happen by itself. It needs to be designed, it needs to be done by intent. They need to be supported throughout the whole process, and there needs to be ongoing assessment, evaluation, revision. When you see something isn't working, then you can go back in and make adjustments in it and send out new information about that. What really makes the difference for them is the little extras, the extra things that as the instructor you add in there. Regular emails, regular announcements. The inclusion of audio and video are a key component to making sure that they know that there truly is someone there paying attention to them. With the online course, you can add in a lot of additional resources that might not be quite so easy to do in a face-to-face, but it is truly those personal connections that make it an effective online course. Thank you for this opportunity to share this experience with you.